This is the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. Everything about it is big. The screen, the battery, the memory, the cameras. But is big always better? Let's find out. The Galaxy S20 Ultra has a huge 6.9-inch dynamic AMOLED display. Be warned, if you start watching Netflix or YouTube videos on this phone, you're not going to want to switch to other phones. With Samsung's Vivid mode switched on, the display has amazing color accuracy and great contrast. Even if I switch to Full HD from Quad HD, the amount of clarity is just amazing. Now with the new S20 series, Samsung has finally included a 120Hz refresh rate, but there's a catch. You can't turn on the Quad HD Plus settings. It only works with the Full HD or HD settings, so you're forced to pick between a higher refresh rate or a higher resolution. I love how smooth it is when it's 120Hz, but most of the time I'll set it to 60Hz. There's a reason why, but I'll get to that later. Okay, I'll be lying if I said I love the design. Truth is, it's kinda dull. There are only two color options, and the phone is no doubt a fingerprint magnet. The camera bump is also bulky for me, but what matters is on the inside, so I wouldn't mind sacrificing its aesthetics for a good camera performance. Finally, cameras. Samsung went all out with the Galaxy S20 Ultra this time by giving it a 108MP wide lens, a 48MP telephoto lens, a 12MP ultra-wide lens, and a depth vision camera. Pair these lenses with Samsung's photo processing software and bam! Beautiful photos. Looking at these daytime shots, I'm gonna say Samsung did a pretty good job balancing out the highlights and shadows. The clouds are well defined and overall the pictures look sharp and clear. The same applies to the ultra-wide photos, though I do notice that they are slightly brighter. I think it's great that the color reproduction stayed consistent in images despite the different lenses. With the depth vision camera, you can do 3D scanning and draw on your subject in videos. You're supposed to get a more realistic bokeh effect, and that's true to a certain extent. You can adjust the level of background blurriness, but my advice is to tone down the bokeh effect because that's where I find the effect most natural. This is when I left it at its default level. As you can see, it did not perform as expected and there are patches everywhere like here, 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 and here. Now these are pictures with level 2 blurriness. You'll notice the bokeh and edge detection are much better. As for selfies, the 40MP lens is really better at getting all the details. You can see the strands of hairs flying about, some scars on my face, but luckily there's the beauty filter, so my skin doesn't look too bad. Now, one of the highlights of the Galaxy S20 Ultra is the 100x space zoom. This is how clear Samsung promoted the zoom-in pictures to be, but come on. Here are a few photos. There's the original picture, then we have 2x zoom, 5x zoom, 10x zoom, 30x zoom, and finally, the not so stunning 100x zoom. If you want to be Joe Goldberg, the 30x zoom is your best friend. The space zoom will only lead you to disappointment if you're trying to get a good look at someone. But with machine learning in this phone, the space zoom is good at zooming in on words. So you know, if you're at a restaurant and you're too lazy to check out the menu board at the counter, the Galaxy S20 Ultra is the perfect solution to that. Also, it can be hard to target your shots properly when you're zoomed in, so it's quite thoughtful of Samsung to include a preview thumbnail when using the 30x zoom and space zoom so I can see what I'm focusing at. There's also no need to worry about the nighttime photography with this phone. The low-light photos are pretty awesome. It doesn't matter whether I'm taking wide shots or ultra-wide shots, the images are sharp, brighten up nicely, and well exposed. If you zoom in, you'll notice the details aren't that great, but it's still better than most phones out there. I definitely recommend using the night mode for selfies too because you'll get better colors and sharper images. Samsung also introduced a new feature called Single Take in the S20 series. You just have to record 10 seconds of footage and it'll provide you with some videos and photos from that footage. Usually, you'll get a boomerang clip, a fast-speed video, and some photos with filters. I don't really see myself using this feature, but who knows, maybe TikTok users will like this. I don't know already. No? Okay. Now, this S20 series also support 8K video. It's not a must-have feature, but it does make the phone more appealing. Even without super steady, the video stabilization is impressive and I can get 33MP still images from the video footage. However, it's locked at 24 frames per second, and being an 8K video, it takes up a lot of space. But here's the real problem. The phone has issues with its autofocus and it's also slow to refocus. Still, it's nice that I can edit these 8K videos directly on the phone or choose to scale them down to 4K, 2K, 1080p or 720p if I wanted to. Oh, did I mention this is a 5G phone? Yeah, it's the only one with 5G support among the 3 models right now, but Samsung plans to bring 5G models of the S20 and S20 Plus in the future. You should know though, the phone only supports sub-6 5G, so you won't get to enjoy the faster data speeds from millimeter wave or the wider coverage offered by low bands. Also, we'll only get one storage configuration in Malaysia, which is the 12GB RAM and 128GB storage. Nonetheless, the storage is expandable via microSD card. Now, gaming on the Galaxy S20 Ultra. With the Exynos 995G chipset, you already know running graphic-heavy games will have no problems whatsoever. And while it has a 120Hz refresh rate, you also need games that support it. Moving on to One UI 2.1, it has some improvements and changes compared to the previous version, but the biggest one would be the airdrop-like feature called Quick Share. Basically, it's just a very instantaneous way of sending files over to other phones, but those phones will have to be Samsung phones that are updated with One UI 2.1. The battery can barely last a full day if the display is set to run on 120Hz refresh rate, but when I bump it down to 60Hz, then I'll get to use it for a day and more. But if you really want to preserve the battery life, then don't go for the Quad HD Plus setting. Using its 25W charger, I can get a full charge in just an hour. There you have it, the Galaxy S20 Ultra. It retails at 4,999 ringgit. Yes, it's a kidney selling phone, but it also gives you an amazing display, crazy good performance, and many other features that aren't found on other phones right now. The only thing is Samsung really need to roll out the update to fix its camera issues quick, or else it just won't be living up to its name. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and if it's been helpful for you, do like this video. If you want to see more of me, subscribe to this channel. Yep, that's all. Bye!